In this video, we will discuss about 6.1 Introduction to Data. It's basically about identify the discrete and continuous data. And the next one would be identify ungroup and group data. After that, we will learn on how to start with stem and leaf diagram. Okay, so these are few terms that you must understand the definition of it. So first one is about population. A population is basically a collection of all elements whose characteristics are being studied. Next one, parameter. So parameter is a summary measure of a population or sample such as population, mean, and variance. Okay. Moving on, next one, sample. A sample is any set of entities, cases, subjects, items, or experimental units chosen from the population. Next one is variable. So a variable is any measured characteristic or attribute that differs from different subject. For example, if the weight of 30 subject were measured, then weight would be a variable. Okay, moving on, we have qualitative data. Qualitative data not in a numerical form but instead assigned as attributes such as man and woman, blue or black, and then yes or no. And then next one, we have quantitative data. Quantitative data refers to observation that can be measured numerically. So this is the differences between qualitative and quantitative. So for qualitative data, it deals with description. Data can be observed but not measured. For example, we have color, texture, smells, taste, personal preference, appearance. So for quantitative data, it deals with numbers and the data can be measured such as length, height, area, volume, weight and etc. So senang cerita, kuantitatif nombor. Kualitatif quality. Quality dengan quantity. Okay. So first one, example one, we have a survey was carried out of 40 boys and 60 girls at a college to find whether they like the subject mathematics or not. So from here, we have to state which one would be the population, sample, variable, and whether the variable is qualitative or quantitative. Okay, so start with the first one, population. So the big sample here would be student at the college because they do the survey at a college. Okay, so our population would be referred to all students at the college. Alright. Next one, sample. So from all students, how many sample do we choose? Here mentioned in the statement, we will choose only 40 boys and 60 girls. Oops. Alright. 60 girls. Okay. After that, what is the variable or the topic that we want to carry the survey? It's about like the subject of mathematics. Like maths. Okay. And then whether this variable is qualitative or quantitative, for sure this is qualitative because loving maths or hate it would be personal preference of individual. So this is qualitative. Qualitative. Yes. Kualiti lah. Awak suka matematik ke, awak tak suka matematik sebenarnya kan. Markah, kalau numerical, markah exam ataupun markah assignment doesn't represent your preference. Tak semestinya markah awak tinggi, awak suka matematik. Ataupun markah awak rendah, awak benci matematik kan. So, this is qualitative. Qualitative, yes, quality. Okay, we proceed to the next part. So, after we identify quantitative and qualitative data, quantitative data can be classes into few part, which is discrete data and continuous data. Okay, and then this data can be split into ungrouped data or group data. So for discrete data, it means that the data can be countable. But for continuous data, our data is in numerical value over a certain interval. Senang cerita, discrete data something that you can count. Apa-apa yang awak boleh kira dengan secara terusnya tanpa memerlukan apa-apa bantuan. But for continuous data, you need something else. For example, in order to measure your height, kan? Mana boleh awak tengok je, okay, awak terus tahu tinggi orang tu berapa. Ataupun berat badan. Kita perlukan penimbang berat kan? Nak ukur berat badan kita. Kita tak boleh lah tengok je, kita terus tahu berat badan kita. So, kita tak boleh terus kira je. Kita kena pakai something. So, itu beza discrete data and continuous data. So, kalau discrete data, kita boleh terus kira pakai jari je. Kalau continuous, awak perlukan alat pembantu lah, senang cerita. Okay, so categorize the following information into qualitative or quantitative. So, for the first one, number of house in Tangkak. So, number, bilangan. So, that will be quantitative. Alright, next one, types of laptop. So, types, jenis laptop. Bukannya awak nak kira laptop tu berapa kan? Automatically, this would be qualitative. Qualitative, yes. Saya rasa macam asyik saya tersalah sebut je. Buntut dia, sebutan dia macam pelik kan? Qualitative. Okay. Next one, types of motorcycle. Lagi sekali, awak bukan nak kira bilangan. Awak nak tahu jenis-jenis motor. Yamaha, Suzuki, macam tu. So, this is also qualitative. Okay, and then last one, monthly electrical bills. So, this would be quantitative. Awak nak kena tahu numerical value kan. Kita nak tahu berapa bil ujung bulan ni baru kita boleh bayar. Dia bukan jenis-jenis bil lah. Dia memang bil elektrik. So kita kena tahu berapa bil tu. That would be quantitative. Okay, settle. Moving on, categorize the following quantitative into discrete or continuous. Okay, so number of handphone owned by student. Okay, ada berapa banyak bilangan handphone. So kalau awak nak kira berapa banyak handphone, perlu tak bantuan? Tak perlu kan? Takkan ada jadi decimal places. So this will be discrete variable. Okay, next one. Height of lecturer in KMJ. Ketinggian para pensyarah awak. Tak adalah awak terus tengok je, awak tengok saya je, awak terus tahu tinggi saya berapa kan. Boleh lah agak-agak tapi tepatnya awak takkan tahu. In order to find that, kita kena pakai pengukur macam tu. So, for this one, we would choose as continuous data. Okay. After that, monthly water bills. So, this is also continuous. Setiap bulan ada orang yang akan datang baca bil, baca meter kita kan. Tak adalah kita tengok je kita terus tahu, oh berapa banyak air kita, berapa banyak bil kita bulan ni, kita tak tahu. So kita perlukan alat juga nak tahu bil tu. Okay. Next one, number of children per family. Okay, so this one would be discrete. Oh, tengok je family tu dah tahu dah. Okay, anak dia berapa, ramai. Tak perlu apa-apa alat nak kira. Okay, hopefully you may categorize, differentiate between discrete and continuous data. Okay, so next one, ungroup and group data. So ungroup data listed as a sequence or in the form of a frequency table without intervals. That is the main key point for ungroup data, without interval. And then for group data, it will categorize into class interval. Kita kena ada selang kelas untuk group data, ungroup data without selang kelas tu. Okay. So, categorize the following into ungroup data or group data. So, for the first one, it is about height. And we have clearly class interval there. So, this would be group data. Alright, second one, that is basically just a list of number. So, this would be ungroup data. Okay, and then last one, C, it's about number of children in a family. Don't buat careless kat sini, jangan tertipu. Even though we have a table here, but then we don't have class interval. No interval. Saya tulis kat situ. Kita tak ada interval pun. Automatically, this is also ungroup data. Alright. Sebab dia ada satu mazhab, tak tahu siapa yang mulakan. Nampak je table, okay, confirm group. Tak ada table, ungroup. Salah lah. Okay. So if it's without class interval, then yes, it's ungroup. If we have a class interval, then it's group data. Itu cara nak bezakan. Bukannya tengok ada jadual, tak ada jadual. Jangan tertipu bahagian tu. Okay. So moving on to the last part for 6.1, it's about stem and leaf plot, stem and leaf diagram. So basically, we will use this in order to list out all the original data to show, to analyze large data and show potential pattern in the responses. Kita nak susun data tu, after that we want to interpret. Okay, so this is how we interpret data from stem and leaf diagram. If we get the first shape or nampak macam tu, that is would be normal distribution or we call as symmetrical distribution. For the second one, this would be positively skewed because our data is skewed to the right. Kalau kita pusingkan gambar distribution ni, awak akan nampak it's skewed to the right lah kat bahagian bawah tu. And last one, it is negatively skewed because data kita lagi memanjang ke arah kiri, skewed to the left. Okay. So how do we get this distribution? We must construct the stem and leaf diagram first. Okay. So let's do an example. So construct stem and leaf diagram of the following. So we have height of 11 fourth grade badminton player. So for stem and leaf diagram, we must have stem and leaf. And from there, we will split our data so that we may arrange it in ascending order. So we may start with the lowest number. In this case, it would be 5. Okay. So 5, start with the lowest one would be 56. I believe 56. Okay. So 5 as a stem, leaf would be 6. We split the data. Okay. Next one after 56, we should have 57. Okay. For stem, it's still 5. Tak payah tulis balik. Leaf, now we have a second number. 7. Okay. Just splitkan sikit je. Jarakkan sikit je between the leaf tu. Tak perlu tak koma. Okay. And then after 57, we should have 58. Kita ada 2 58 here. So we have 8. 8 as our leaf. And then last one, 59 pun ada twice. So 9. 9. Okay. So that would be for 5. Okay. Next one, kita pergi 6 pula. So start with 60. So 6, 0. After that, 61, we have 3. 61 here. So 1, 1, 1. 3 kali. And then last one is 63. Okay. So that is it. Okay. That's it for our stem and leaf. So don't forget to make a key. Key is basically indicator on how to read our stem and leaf diagram. So just choose any data. Let's say I choose the first one, 56. So we have 5 stroke 6 means 56 inches. That's basically a key or indicator on how to read the diagram. Okay, so let's do another example. So here is the set of data of pupil height in centimeter. It is basically already in ascending order. So we have to construct stem and leaf diagram. So start with stem first. In this case, kita jangan mula dengan 1. Macam tadi kita punya stem saya pilih 1 nombor je. So kalau this case, nombor stem tu saya letak 1 je. Yang lain tu semua lagi 2 digit jadi leaf. Tak jadi stem leaf lah kan. Sebab 1. Semua nombor mula dengan 1. Okay. So if this happen, kita pergi anjak lah. Kita ambil 2 digit for stem, 1 digit for leaf. So the lowest one would be 143, means stem would be 14, leaf would be 3. Macam tu je. Okay, after that we have 148. So 8 and then 9. Done. That would be for 140 something lah data. Settle. Okay, next one kita start dengan 150 something pula. So kita start dengan 15. So our data is 2, 2, 4, 5, 8 and 9. Okay. Moving on, next one. Start with 16. So we have 0, 3, 4, 7, 7, 7, 8, 8, and 9. Banyak data untuk 16 tu. And last one for 17, we have 0, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So that's how we list out our data in ascending order in the form of stem and leaf diagram. Okay, satu for the first part. Next one, interpret the data. So interpret the data, basically we have to state the distribution. So macam mana nak dapat distribution dalam nota tadi tu? Kita tarik je data ikut leaf dia. So kalau kat sini saya tarik tu, dia dah tarik sikit kat sini. Something like that lah. So kita akan nampak our data is actually skewed to the right. Skewed to the left. So our interpretation here is basically you may use skewed to the left or you may say it is negatively skewed. Okay, negatively skewed. Data kita lebih cenderung ke arah kiri. Kenapa nampak bukit tu macam ekor dia lagi panjang kat kiri kan? Itu je lah cerita dia. Ekor tu macam kalau saya lukis balik dia macam ni. Kalau saya pusingkan dia. So dia cenderung ke arah kiri. That's why it's skewed to the left or we can say it is negatively skewed.